My ex showed up 8 months later to check on me. He wasn't satisfied with what he found. My ex-boyfriend told everyone I'd fall apart without him. 8 months later, he showed up at my apartment to watch me crumble, and the door opened before I could reach it. We were together for 4 years. I thought we'd get married. He was charming, confident, the kind of guy who walked into a room and commanded attention. What I didn't realize until too late was that his confidence came from keeping me small. Every compliment had a condition. Every encouragement came with a reminder that I needed him. When I got promoted at work, he said it was probably a diversity hire. When I wanted to see friends, he'd guilt me about not spending enough time with him. 4 years of slowly shrinking until I barely recognized myself. He ended things right after I got laid off. Said he couldn't be with someone who wasn't going anywhere. Told me I'd been holding him back. Posted on social media that same week about finally being free to pursue his potential. His friends commented about how proud they were of him for making the hard choice. Like leaving me while I was unemployed was some kind of brave act. The first 2 months were brutal. I won't pretend otherwise. I barely left my apartment, lived on cereal, and cried through entire seasons of shows I don't remember watching. My sister Wendy practically moved in just to make sure I was eating actual food. But somewhere around month 3, something shifted. I started applying for jobs not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Got hired at a startup that actually valued my ideas. I started running in the mornings because it made me feel strong. Reconnected with friends I'd neglected for years. I went to therapy and realized just how much of myself I'd given away. By month 6, I was unrecognizable. Not because I'd changed who I was, but because I'd finally become who I'd always been before him. I got another promotion. I started taking a pottery class on weekends. Adopted a cat named Biscuit who judges everyone equally. Then I met someone. His name was Nico, a guy from my running group who laughed at my terrible jokes and never once made me feel small. We'd been dating for 2 months, taking things slow, building something real. Last Saturday night, Nico came over to cook dinner. We were in the kitchen, music playing, Biscuit weaving between our legs, when someone knocked on my door. Nico was closer, so he opened it. Standing there was my ex, holding flowers, wearing the shirt I'd bought him for his birthday 2 years ago. His face when he saw Nico was something I'll remember forever. Complete confusion followed by something darker. He actually tried to look past Nico into the apartment, like maybe he'd gotten the wrong door. "Can I help you?" Nico asked, genuinely polite. My ex stammered, "I'm here to see my girlfriend." I stepped into view, wooden spoon still in my hand. Ex-girlfriend. Very ex. He stared at me like I was a stranger. I'd cut my hair, gained back the weight I'd stress lost during our relationship, and apparently looked nothing like the broken woman he'd expected to find. "I came to check on you," he said, trying to recover. "People said you weren't doing well and I felt bad about how things ended." "People said that 8 months ago," I replied. "You're a little late." He looked at Nico, then back at me, then at the apartment behind me, taking in the new furniture, the art on the walls, the evidence of a life that had clearly moved on without him. "Who is this guy?" he finally asked. Nico extended his hand with a warm smile. "I'm her boyfriend, and you must be the ex who said she wasn't going anywhere. Nice to meet you." The flowers drooped in my ex's hand. He hadn't expected this. He'd shown up to find me desperate and lonely, maybe grateful he'd remembered I existed. Instead, he found exactly what he'd always feared. Proof that I didn't need him, that I'd never needed him, that the only person who'd been holding anyone back was him. "You should go," I said, not angry, not bitter, just done. He stood there for another moment, mouth opening and closing. Then he turned and walked back down the hallway without another word. Didn't even take the flowers, just left them on my doormat like sad little evidence of his failed mission. Nico closed the door and looked at me. "So that was him?" "That was him." "Huh." He picked up the flowers and tossed them in the trash. "Dinner's almost ready. You okay?" I laughed. Actually laughed. "I'm perfect." We went back to cooking. Biscuit knocked a measuring cup off the counter. The music kept playing. And somewhere in the parking lot, my ex was driving away from the closure he'd never get. Some people have to see you thriving to believe they lost something real. I hope he thinks about it often.